The red heifer. The third temple. Hamas and Iran. What do these have in common? As many around the world have their eyes on the Middle East, Bible prophecy is seemingly unfolding right in front of our eyes. The tragic events that occurred on October 7th seem to be an escalation to a Middle East conflict that has been going on for some time now. Or was it? Let's see what Scripture has to say. After that first vision, it was in the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar that another vision appeared to me, Daniel. I looked into the vision, and as I looked, I found myself in Shushan, the capital in the province of Elam. I looked into the vision, and I was by the Ulai Canal. I looked up, and as I watched, there in front of the stream stood a ram with 2 horns. The horns were long, but one was longer than the other, and the longer one came up later than the other. I saw the ram pushing to the west, north, and south, and no animals could stand up against it, nor was there anyone that could rescue from its power. So it did as it pleased and became very strong. The ram is represented by Medo-Persia, or modern-day Iran. Today, we see Iran has built up its proxies all over the Middle East, surrounding Israel. Hamas has been one of them. The attack that took place on October 7th was the most horrific attack the Jews have ever endured since the Holocaust. But the reason on why they attacked, particularly on the date, remained a mystery. That is, until a spokesperson from Hamas made a statement. He said the reason for the attacks was due to the red heifers, or in Hebrew, the Para al-Duma. Why do the red heifers pose such a threat to them? We may find the answer in the book of Numbers. This is the regulation from the Torah which Adonai has commanded. Tell the people of Israel to bring you a young red female cow without fault or defect, and which has never borne a yoke. You are to give it to Eleazar the Kohen. It is to be brought outside the camp and slaughtered in front of him. Eleazar the Kohen is to take some of its blood with his finger and sprinkle this blood toward the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. A man who is clean is to collect the ashes of the heifer and store them outside the camp in a clean place. They are to be kept for the community of the people of Israel to prepare water for purification from sin. The heifer is to be burned to ashes before his eyes. Its skin, meat, blood, and dung is to be burned to ashes. Anyone who touches a corpse, no matter whose dead body it is, will be unclean for 7 days. He must purify himself with these ashes on the 3rd and 7th days, then he will be clean. But if he does not purify himself the 3rd and 7th days, he will not be clean. The red heifers are necessary in order to be cleansed from corpse impurity. This means no Kohen or priest could initiate any temple service without first being clean. Hence, no temple can even be built unless they first have a red heifer, according to Numbers 19. And the date of the attack, October 7th, was not on just any day. It fell on Shabbat, the holiest day of the week in which believers in the God of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov rest on the 7th day, just as God rested from all of his work on the 7th day. And it was not only any Shabbat. October 7th fell on Simchat Torah, which celebrates the end of the Torah reading cycle for the year. This attack was definitely premeditated. The goal was not simply to kill as many Jews as possible. It was also to deter any further progression of the slaughter of the red heifer. Once the waters of purification come from the ashes of the red heifer, then the construction of the third temple can commence. And this puts the Temple Mount at risk for Islam. So you see, this attack, this conflict, this war is and always has been about the land. But why does Islam hold on to the Temple Mount with such a death grip? We again turn to Scripture. Adonai said to Avram, after Lot had moved away from him, "Look all around from where you are, to the north, the south, the east, and the west. All the land you see I will give to you and your descendants forever. And I will make your descendants as numerous as the specks of dust on the earth. So that if a person can count the specks of dust on the earth, then your descendants can be counted. Get up and walk through the length and breadth of the land, because I will give it to you." This land has been promised to Abraham and his seed, according to Genesis. Who is that seed? We again turn to Scripture. Now the promises were made to Abraham and to his seed. It doesn't say, "and to seeds," as if to many. On the contrary, it speaks of one, "and to your seed." And this one is the Messiah. For in union with the Messiah, you are all children of God through this trusting faithfulness. Because as many of you as were immersed into the Messiah have clothed yourselves with the Messiah, in whom there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free man, neither male nor female, or in union with the Messiah Yeshua, you are all one. Also, if you belong to the Messiah, you are seed of Abraham and heirs according to the promise. This land is promised not only to Abraham, but to Yeshua and anyone who belongs to Yeshua. Israel as a nation is the promised land and the inheritance, and will become the kingdom in which Yeshua will reign over the earth. As these days continue to unfold, many believers can see the times and seasons we are in. They are pointing to the Acharit Hayamim, translated as end of days. But what's even more intriguing is that Jews, Orthodox Jews, are saying we are in the Acharit Hayamim as well. Many go as far as to say that we are literally in the Messianic age in which the Messiah will be revealed. In a recent interview, Rabbi Pesach Walicki, host of Eyes on Israel, was asked, "Should we encourage the Israeli government to take over sovereignty over the Temple Mount?" He responded by saying, "Jews call this Middle East war Chavrot Barzel, which means swords of steel. The enemy refers to this war as the Al-Aqsa flood. This name they give it is the name for the Temple Mount, according to them." This proves that the Temple Mount is of vital importance to Islam. He was also asked about the meaning of Tisha B'Av, and he responded by saying, the Temple Mount is the place that God has determined for his temple. He referred to Deuteronomy 12. "Then you will bring all that I am ordering you to the place Adonai your God chooses to have his name live. Your burnt offerings, sacrifices, tents, the offerings from your hand, and all your best possessions that you dedicate to Adonai." What I have shown you in this video today is as follows. Iran attacking to the east is shown in Daniel 8. The October 7th attack was due to the red heifer. The red heifer is needed for corpse impurity. The temple cannot be rebuilt with unclean Kohen. The attack on Israel was premeditated. The red heifer poses a threat because it leads to a third temple. Israel was promised to Abraham, Yeshua, and those who are his. Even Orthodox Jews today admit we are in the Messianic age. In part 2 of this series, we will produce scripture speaking of the one who will arrive on the scene as the anti-Messiah. Who will this person be? Be sure to subscribe to be notified of any future content. Thank you for watching. Shalom.